Story. Chapter 1. The Perfect Life. Daniel Crawford's muscles tensed as he gripped the weathered hammer, driving nails into the custom mahogany bookshelf. The rhythm of metal striking metal echoed through his workshop, a converted garage that smelled of sawdust and varnish. At 42, his military-honed physique hadn't softened. If anything, the combination of construction work and carpentry had maintained his lethal edge. "Sir, the preservation group is here again." Ryan Cooper's voice crackled through Daniel's phone. The younger veteran's tone carried the familiar tension of someone trying to maintain discipline in a civilian world. Daniel set down his hammer, brushing sawdust from his cargo pants. "Keep them at the perimeter, Ryan. I'll be there in 15. The Patterson building renovation site bustled with activity as Daniel pulled up in his truck. Dr. Rebecca Ford stood at the entrance, her academic demeanor at odds with the construction environment. Behind her, a group of protesters clutched signs decrying the destruction of Portland's heritage. "Mr. Crawford," Dr. Ford adjusted her glasses, "your company's current plans will destroy the original marble colonnade. That's a piece of 1920s craftsmanship that—" "Doctor," Daniel interrupted, his voice carrying the quiet authority that had once commanded SEAL teams. "Walk with me." He gestured toward the building's entrance, effectively separating her from the protest group. Ryan fell into step behind them, his military bearing evident in his precise movements. Daniel had recognized the signs of PTSD in the young Marine during his job interview. The hypervigilance, the controlled breathing, the way his eyes tracked multiple threats. Now, 3 months into his role as site foreman, Ryan was proving invaluable. Inside the building, Daniel led Dr. Ford to a sectioned-off area. "Look at the foundation work we've done. We're not destroying the colonnade. We're reinforcing it." Those marble columns were cracking from decades of water damage. Dr. Ford's expression shifted as she examined the careful preservation work. This is actually quite impressive. But the Community Council hasn't seen any of these plans. Because Morrison Construction's PR department doesn't know how to talk to preservationists, Daniel replied. "They see dollar signs. I see craftsmanship that deserves respect." A series of rapid texts lit up Daniel's phone. Maddie's name flashed across the screen. "Huge deal closing today. Client bringing amazing investment opportunity. Don't wait up. Late meeting." Daniel's jaw tightened imperceptibly. The frequency of these late meetings had increased since Richard Kensington had become Premier Properties' top client. He pushed the thought aside, focusing on the task at hand. "Dr. Ford, I'm proposing a compromise. You serve as historical consultant on the project. In return, your group helps us showcase how modern renovation can preserve historical integrity." Rebecca Ford's expertise in architectural history had made her a formidable opponent. Making her an ally would solve multiple problems. As she considered his offer, Daniel's phone buzzed again. Jennifer Martinez, one of Maddie's junior agents, requesting an urgent meeting. "I'll need to review the complete plans," Dr. Ford said. "But this could work." Back in his site office, Daniel found Jennifer waiting, her usual professional composure fractured by nervous energy. "Mr. Crawford, I wouldn't come to you if it wasn't important." "Sit down, Jennifer." Daniel remained standing, his presence filling the small space. "What's wrong?" "It's about Premier Properties and Mr. Kensington." Jennifer's fingers twisted together. "I've seen some documents. Properties being bought and sold through shell companies, prices inflated way above market value. And Mrs. Crawford, she's signing everything." Daniel's expression remained neutral, but his mind accelerated into tactical assessment mode. "Show me." Jennifer pulled out her phone, displaying photos of document pages. "These transactions, the numbers don't make sense. And there's more. Mrs. Crawford and Mr. Kensington, they're not just having business meetings. You've witnessed something specific?" Daniel's voice carried no emotion, but Jennifer instinctively leaned back. "The Four Seasons, last Tuesday. They were intimate. Mr. Crawford, I have a brother in college. This job pays his tuition. I can't afford to lose it, but I couldn't stay quiet about this." Daniel moved to his desk, opened a drawer, and withdrew an envelope. "Your brother's tuition is covered through graduation. Here's documentation of a private scholarship. Use it if you need to explain the money." Jennifer stared at the envelope. I don't understand. You came to me with information, at personal risk. I protect people who show loyalty. Daniel's tone made it clear this wasn't charity. It was tactical support for a valuable ally. Keep documenting everything you see. Don't confront anyone. Don't change your behavior. After Jennifer left, Daniel sat at his computer, pulling up bank statements. The suspicious transfers she'd mentioned were there. He'd noticed them but had attributed them to Premier Properties' rapid expansion. Now he saw the pattern. Tommy's bark drew his attention. The German shepherd stood in the office doorway, hackles raised. Richard Kensington appeared behind the dog, his expensive suit and practiced smile failing to mask his predatory nature. Daniel, hope I'm not interrupting. Richard's voice carried the artificial warmth of a practiced manipulator. Just dropped by to discuss an amazing investment opportunity with Maddie. She suggested I share it with you. Tommy's growl deepened. Daniel laid a hand on the dog's head, feeling the tension in the animal's muscles. Not interested, Richard. I prefer to build things I can touch. Your loss, Richard shrugged, maintaining his facade of casual friendship. Speaking of building, this renovation project must be quite challenging. So many things could go wrong on a construction site. The threat was subtle but clear. Daniel stood, his movement deliberately slow. Yes, safety is a priority. That's why we have excellent security. Ryan? Ryan appeared instantly, his stance mirroring Daniel's controlled aggression. Richard's smile faltered slightly. Ryan, please escort Mr. Kensington out. He's not authorized to be in this area without a hard hat and safety briefing. That evening, Daniel worked late in his garage workshop. The repetitive motions of sanding would providing cover for his strategic planning. The broken tail light on Maddie's car had been his first task, a simple repair that led to discovery of the Four Seasons receipt tucked into the owner's manual. The business card for Offshore Solutions LLC, hidden behind the vehicle registration, connected directly to the suspicious bank transfers. Each piece fit together like the joinery in his woodwork, precise, deliberate, and ultimately revealing the true structure beneath the surface. Maddie arrived home after 11, her designer clothes and perfectly maintained hair at odds with her story of a long day at the office. Daniel listened to her detailed explanation of contract negotiations from his workbench, noting every inconsistency. You're working too hard, Maddie said, wrapping her arms around him from behind. Her perfume couldn't quite mask the unfamiliar cologne clinging to her clothes. We barely see each other anymore. Just finishing this piece, Daniel replied, his hands steady on the wood. How's the Kensington account? Oh, you know Richard. Always full of big ideas. Maddie's laugh held a nervous edge. He's bringing in so much business, though. We might even expand to Seattle. Daniel nodded, watching Tommy's reaction to Maddie's presence. The dog had once adored her, but now he maintained a careful distance, his intelligent eyes tracking her movements. Animals recognize threats that humans try to rationalize away. I'm heading up to bed. Maddie squeezed his shoulders. Don't stay up too late. Daniel waited until her footsteps faded, then reached for his phone. The tracking app showed her recent locations, the Four Seasons prominently featured. The burner phone he discovered in her car's spare tire compartment had yielded more direct evidence. Photos, messages, and proof of a deeper conspiracy. The pieces were all there. The life insurance policy hidden in shell companies, the offshore accounts, the pattern of suspicious property deals. Daniel recognized the signs of an operation being staged. His military training hadn't just taught him how to fight, it had taught him to recognize when he was being targeted. He pulled up the surveillance photos Jennifer had provided, studying the interaction between Maddie and Richard. Their body language revealed more than just an affair. They moved like conspirators, aware of their surroundings, checking for observers. Richard's hand placement in one photo showed him passing something to Maddie, documents, based on the envelope's shape. A text from Ryan added another piece. Unusual activity at Patterson Building tonight. Well-dressed individuals accessing the site after hours. Security footage downloaded. Daniel began disassembling the burner phone, his movements precise. The SIM card yielded to his tools, revealing additional storage hidden beneath. Richard had been thorough in covering his tracks, but he hadn't counted on facing someone with Daniel's particular set of skills. The final text message in the hidden storage confirmed his suspicions. Insurance policy confirmed. Target's routine established. Proceed with elimination plan. Daniel cleaned his tools, each movement controlled despite the rage building inside him. He'd survived war zones, led men through hell, and built a life he thought was secure. Now that life was revealed as a carefully constructed trap. Tomorrow, he would begin his counter-operation. Years of military service had taught him to channel anger into strategic action. Richard and Maddie believed they were dealing with a simple construction manager, a trusting husband who could be easily eliminated. They would learn their mistake too late. Daniel Crawford hadn't survived 15 years of military service by being an easy target. As he finally headed upstairs, Tommy fell into step beside him, the dog's presence a reminder that some loyalties remain true. In the bedroom, Maddie's gentle breathing suggested peaceful sleep, but Daniel noticed the slight tension in her shoulders, the pose of someone pretending to rest. He lay down without disturbing her, his mind already mapping out the coming conflict. Let them think their plan was proceeding smoothly. Let them believe he remained ignorant. Daniel had learned in combat that the perfect moment to strike wasn't when you had complete information. It was when your opponent believed they had complete control. Chapter 2. The Unraveling. The tail light repair had been simple enough. A quick fix that shouldn't have led to anything significant. But as Daniel Crawford's calloused fingers reached into Maddie's glove compartment for the vehicle registration, the smooth edge of a business card caught his attention. Offshore Solutions, LLC. The name matched the suspicious transfers he'd been noticing in their joint accounts. Boss, got something you need to see. Ryan's voice cut through Daniel's thoughts. The younger veteran stood in the garage doorway, tablet in hand. Security footage from the Patterson building played silently, figures in expensive suits moving through the construction site well past midnight. Freeze it there. Daniel pointed to a familiar silhouette. Richard Kensington. Who's he meeting? International buyers, according to the paperwork. But look at their behavior. They're conducting counter-surveillance sweeps. These aren't real estate investors. Daniel's phone vibrated. Jennifer Martinez requesting another meeting. The junior agent had proven herself an invaluable source of intelligence over the past week. He texted back coordinates for a coffee shop 3 districts away from Premier Properties. Keep monitoring the site, Daniel instructed Ryan. I want facial recognition on every visitor. Use your military contacts if you need to. Jennifer sat in the furthest corner of the coffee shop, her professional attire belied by dark circles under her eyes. They're moving faster now, she said as Daniel sat down. Mrs. Crawford authorized 3 new property deals yesterday, all through shell companies connected to Offshore Solutions. Show me. Jennifer's hands shook slightly as she passed over her phone. The deposits are enormous, way above market value. And there's something else. I found this in the copy room. She slid a crumpled paper across the table. Daniel smoothed out the document, a life insurance policy application. His name listed as the insured party, the benefit amount reaching 7 figures. Maddie's signature graced the bottom, dated 3 weeks ago. The premium payments are being routed through multiple accounts, Jennifer continued. I recognize the pattern from my previous job at an investment firm. It's designed to hide the source. Daniel's expression remained neutral, but his mind raced through implications. You're taking a huge risk bringing this to me. My brother. Jennifer's voice cracked slightly. Our parents died in a car accident when he was 12. The insurance company claimed it was suicide, denied the claim. We lost everything. I can't watch someone else go through that. Your brother's scholarship is secure, Daniel assured her. But I need you to do something else now. Start looking for a new job, something far from real estate. Don't tell anyone. Just quietly put out applications. Jennifer's eyes widened with understanding. It's going to get bad, isn't it? You've done the right thing. Now protect yourself. Back at the construction site, Daniel found Dr. Rebecca Ford examining the preservation work on the Patterson building's facade. Her presence provided perfect cover for accessing the building's historical records, documents that might reveal why Richard Kensington had invested so heavily in this particular property. Mr. Crawford, Dr. Ford called out, these modifications to the original structure, they're extensive. The cost must be significant. The investor insisted on them. Daniel studied her reaction. Richard Kensington. You know him? Rebecca's professional demeanor cracked slightly. He's approached our preservation society several times, offering donations in exchange for expedited approvals. The amounts were inappropriate. Did you keep records of those offers? Of course, along with documentation of similar patterns with other historical properties. She met his gaze directly. Properties that subsequently changed hands multiple times at inflated values. Daniel nodded slowly. I'd be interested in seeing those records. They're at my office. Though I should warn you, another interested party already requested copies. A detective, Alexandra Ross. The name triggered instant recognition. Alex Ross had served with him in classified operations, now working homicide in Portland. Her involvement suggested the scope of Richard's operations extended beyond simple fraud. A text from Ryan interrupted. Security breach at North Entrance. 3 unknowns accessed the site. Daniel's combat instincts engaged immediately. Dr. Ford, please leave the building. Use the south exit. Stay in public areas. He moved through the construction site silently, years of military training evident in each precise movement. The intruder's footprints in the construction dust showed professional spacing, not common criminals, but trained operators. His phone buzzed again. Plates traced to Black River Solutions. Private military contractors. The pieces clicked into place. Richard's operation was larger than a simple insurance scam. The Patterson Building project, the property deals, the offshore accounts, all elements of an elaborate money laundering operation. A final text arrived, this one from the burner phone he'd found in Maddie's car. Is that worthless waste of space dead yet? I need the $5 million insurance before my flight to Bali tonight. Daniel allowed himself a moment of cold fury before activating his phone's camera, documenting every detail of his surroundings. Whatever happened next would need to be legally defensible. The first attacker emerged from behind a stack of drywall, moving with the confidence of a trained killer. Daniel sidestepped the initial strike, his counterattack targeting vulnerable points with brutal efficiency. The man's larynx crushed under a precisely delivered blow. The second assailant proved more challenging, landing several solid hits before Daniel's expertise in close-quarters combat prevailed. The sound of shattering bone accompanied the attacker's dislocated shoulder, followed by a devastating knee strike that ended the threat. The third man displayed greater tactical awareness, attempting to maintain distance while drawing a weapon. Daniel's response was immediate and overwhelming. Years of hand-to-hand combat training, refined through actual combat experience, manifested in a series of devastating strikes. When it ended, Daniel stood undefeated among his would-be assassins. His breathing remained controlled, his tactical awareness extending to the legal implications of his actions. He retrieved his phone, documenting the scene while dialing Detective Ross's number. Alex? I need your expertise at the Patterson Building. Bring your forensics team. He paused, surveying the aftermath of the attack. And Alex? Check these guys against your insurance fraud cases. I think we've found your connection. The evidence gathered from the attackers' phones would provide the foundation for a larger investigation. Their encrypted messages and payment trails led directly to Black River Solutions, a private security firm known for operating in legal gray areas. Daniel Crawford had been trained to recognize patterns in chaos, to identify threats before they fully materialized. The attempt on his life confirmed his suspicions about Richard's operation, but he needed more concrete evidence. Chapter 3. The Setup. The garage's motion sensors activated, flooding the space with harsh fluorescent light. Daniel tensed, recognizing the deliberate footsteps of multiple intruders. His weekend carpentry sanctuary had become an ambush point. The first attacker moved, suggesting extensive combat training. Daniel identified the technique: private military contractors, likely ex-special forces. The man's stance betrayed his intention before he struck. Amateur, Daniel muttered, deflecting the initial attack. His counterstrike targeted the throat with devastating accuracy. The wet crunch of cartilage collapsing echoed through the garage as the attacker dropped, gasping futilely for air. The second assailant proved more challenging, displaying Krav Maga training. He landed several solid body shots before Daniel seized control. The fight shifted instantly, A dislocated shoulder accompanied by an agonized scream, followed by a precise strike that shattered the attacker's kneecap. "Stay down," Daniel commanded. But the third intruder had already committed to his attack. This one moved differently, showing signs of Russian system of training. They exchanged a brutal series of strikes, the sound of impact echoing off concrete walls. Blood sprayed as Daniel's elbow connected with his attacker's face. The man staggered but maintained his guard, professional to the core. Daniel pressed his advantage, unleashing a combination of strikes that overwhelmed his opponent's defenses. "Mr. Crawford," a familiar voice called from the doorway. Detective Alexandra Ross stood with her weapon drawn, backed by two uniformed officers. "I got your alert." Daniel stepped back from the unconscious attacker, his breathing controlled despite the intensity of the fight. "Check their phones." Black River Solutions. "They're connected to Richard's operation." Alex holstered her weapon, recognizing Daniel's tactical assessment mode from their shared military background. "We've been tracking similar attacks across 3 states. Insurance fraud cases, all with connections to private military contractors. These weren't just hired thugs." Daniel gestured to the fallen attackers. "Their tactics, their coordination. They're ex-military, probably blacklisted from legitimate contractors." The detectives' forensics team worked methodically, documenting the scene while emergency services handled the injured attackers. Daniel used the time to access the burner phone he'd found in Maddie's car. The message history revealed a complex web of betrayal. Maddie wasn't just having an affair. She was actively participating in Richard's criminal enterprise. The insurance policy, the offshore accounts, the property deals, all pieces of an elaborate scheme. "Got something," Alex called, holding up one attacker's phone. Encrypted messages, payment trails, all leading back to Black River Solutions. These guys weren't cheap. Daniel nodded, his expression hardening. "Richard's getting sloppy. He's accelerating his timeline." "There's more." Alex scrolled through the phone. "Your wife's name appears in these messages. She's not just a victim or an unwitting accomplice." "I know." Daniel pulled up the final message on Maddie's burner phone. "Is that worthless waste of space dead yet? I need the $5 million insurance before my flight to Bali tonight." The detective's eyes narrowed. "This is bigger than insurance fraud. The pattern matches cases I've been investigating: wealthy spouses eliminated, insurance policies cashed in, properties used for money laundering." Daniel moved to his workbench, retrieving a hidden laptop. Jennifer Martinez discovered irregularities in Premier Properties accounts. The Patterson building renovation isn't just a construction project. It's part of their money laundering operation. "We'll need more evidence," Alex warned. "Richard Kensington has connections, expensive lawyers." "Then let's get it." Daniel's voice carried the cold determination of a man who'd moved beyond anger to strategic action. "The Patterson building, Premier Properties, the offshore accounts, it's all connected. Richard and Maddie think they're playing a sophisticated game, but they've never faced someone like you." Alex finished, understanding the implication. Daniel checked his watch, calculating timing. Maddie's message mentioned a flight to Bali tonight. "She's creating an alibi, expecting confirmation of my death. You want to play this out?" Alex asked, recognizing the tactical approach. "Richard thinks he's dealing with a simple construction manager." Daniel's expression remained neutral, but his eyes held lethal focus. "Let him keep thinking that. We'll document everything, build an airtight case." The detective nodded, already coordinating with her team. "I'll put surveillance on both of them. If they're planning to run, we'll know." Daniel surveyed the aftermath of the attack, his mind already formulating counter-strategies. The garage had been his sanctuary, a place where he created things of beauty and value. They had turned it into a battleground, not realizing they'd chosen the perfect location to awaken his warrior instincts. Tommy padded into the garage, moving carefully around the forensics team. The German Shepherd's behavior had been the first warning sign. His instant distrust of Richard, his growing wariness around Maddie. Animals recognized predators, even when humans tried to rationalize away their instincts. "We'll need statements from Jennifer Martinez," Alex said, preparing to leave. "And Dr. Ford's documentation of the property deals." Daniel agreed, but his mind was already moving ahead, analyzing patterns and identifying vulnerabilities in Richard's operation. He'd been trained to dismantle enemy networks, to identify critical nodes and systematic weaknesses. Richard had built an elaborate criminal enterprise, but he'd made a critical mistake. He'd attacked a man who'd spent 15 years learning to destroy more dangerous enemies than him. Daniel Crawford wasn't just going to survive this attempt on his life. He was going to dismantle Richard's entire operation, piece by piece. He applied to his carpentry. The garage lights cast harsh shadows as the forensics team finished their work. Daniel stood among the tool-lined walls, surrounded by the projects he'd crafted with patience and skill. Each piece of furniture represented hours of careful planning, precise execution, and attention to detail. He would apply those same principles to dismantling Richard's organization. Patience, precision, and ruthless attention to detail. The people who had conspired to destroy his life were about to learn a painful lesson about underestimating their targets. Detective Ross paused at the doorway, recognizing the focused calculation in her old comrade's stance. "Daniel, don't do anything legal." He met her gaze steadily. "Everything will be documented, Alex. Everything will be admissible in court. But they chose this battlefield, and I'm going to show them exactly who they're fighting." As the police departed, Daniel began his own preparations. The attack had confirmed his suspicions and revealed the scope of Richard's operation. Now it was time to implement his counter-strategy to transform from target to hunter. Tommy settled into his guard position by the workbench, alert and ready. Daniel allowed himself a moment of cold satisfaction. Richard and Maddie had planned meticulously, but they'd failed to account for one crucial factor. They'd attacked a man who'd been trained to turn enemy operations against themselves. The game was no longer about survival. It was about justice, delivered in absolute finality. Daniel Crawford had spent 15 years learning to dismantle enemy networks. Now he would apply those skills to deliver a very personal form of justice. Chapter 4. Gathering Allies. Michael Ghost O'Brien's Private Security Command Center hummed with activity as Daniel Crawford laid out the evidence across digital displays. The former Delta Force operator studied the surveillance photos, his scarred hands tapping commands into multiple keyboards. "Richard's clever," Ghost muttered, "but he's gotten sloppy. Look at these shell companies. Same registration patterns as his previous operations." Daniel gestured to the financial records Jennifer had provided. "He's using premier properties to launder money through real estate deals. Each property sells for twice its market value, which is where my wife comes in." Ghost turned as Samantha O'Brien entered, her tailored suit and sharp features reflecting her reputation as one of the top forensic accountants in insurance fraud cases. "Sam, show him what you found." Samantha pulled up complex financial diagrams on the main screen. "Richard's pattern is consistent across multiple states. He creates shell companies, processes life insurance policies through them, then uses real estate transactions to clean the money." "How many victims?" Daniel's voice carried dangerous undertones. 6 previous spouses," a new voice interjected. Rachel Chun, cybersecurity specialist, emerged from her workstation. "I've traced his digital footprint through 3 continents. Each time, same MO: marriage, life insurance, mysterious accident, property sales." Rachel's fingers flew across her keyboard, revealing elaborate digital maps of Richard's network. "He's built an impressive infrastructure, but there's always a digital trail." "The Patterson Building renovation? It's his most ambitious laundering operation yet. Dr. Ford's research confirms it." Daniel pulled up architectural documents. The Preservation Society found similar patterns with other historical properties. Richard approaches them with donations, gets expedited approvals, then uses the renovations to move money. Ghost studied the tactical implications. "He's got private military contractors on payroll, Black River Solutions. They're not amateurs." "Neither are we." Daniel's reply carried the cold certainty of a man who'd led combat operations. "Ryan's former unit members are talking. Several Black River contractors want to switch sides." Rachel's computer chimed with an alert. "Got something." Richard's digital security had a gap. He's been recording conversations, not just with Maddie, but with other conspirators. The recordings played through the command center speakers. Richard's voice dripped with calculated charm as he discussed cleaning operations with various associates. Property deals merged with discussions of removing obstacles and securing loose ends. He's documenting everything, Samantha noted. Insurance against betrayal. Or evidence we can use, Daniel countered. Rachel, can you access his complete network? The cybersecurity expert's fingers danced across her keyboard, already mapping it. His digital security is good, but his ego makes him predictable. He keeps trophies, photos, documents, recordings of his successes. Ghost pulled up satellite imagery of the Patterson building. Ryan's team spotted more late-night meetings. Well-dressed visitors, private security, diplomatic plates, international connections, Samantha confirmed. The property deals extend through tax havens in 7 countries. Each transaction launders money from previous operations. Daniel absorbed the information, his military training translating financial data into tactical advantages. He's built an empire on betrayal and murder. Time to dismantle it. You're not just talking about stopping one insurance scam, Ghost observed. No, Daniel's voice carried lethal purpose. I'm talking about destroying everything he's built. Rachel, focus on his digital infrastructure. Sam, trace funds to their sources. Ghost, I need your team ready for multiple operations. The command center buzzed with renewed purpose as each specialist attacked their assigned targets. Rachel's cyber team penetrated Richard's digital defenses while Samantha's financial analysts unraveled complex money trails. Dr. Rebecca Ford arrived with stacks of historical documentation. The Patterson building isn't his first preservation fraud. I've found similar patterns across 3 states. Historical properties purchased through shell companies, renovation costs inflated to hide money movements. How much has he stolen from preservation funds? Daniel asked. Millions. Rebecca spread out property records. Each renovation project becomes a pipeline for laundering money from his previous operations. The Patterson building is just the largest example. Ryan Cooper's voice crackled through the communications system. Boss, those Black River contractors I mentioned? They're ready to talk. Their commander worked Richard's previous operations, eliminated 3 of his former spouses. Bring them in, Daniel commanded. Ghost, your facility secure enough? Like a fortress, Ghost confirmed. Sam's team can record their testimony while my people handle protection. The defectors from Black River Solutions arrived under heavy security. Their testimony painted a picture of systematic elimination, staged accidents, falsified evidence, complex cleanup operations ensuring no traces remained. Richard's got a backup team, their commander revealed. Elite operators, off the books. They handle the wet work while we provide visible security. Makes it look legitimate. Daniel's expression remained neutral, but his eyes held deadly focus. Names, locations, everything. The defectors provided detailed intelligence, safe houses, communication protocols, financial arrangements. Each piece added to the developing picture of Richard's operation. Rachel's voice cut through the debriefing. Found something big. Richard's not just planning to eliminate Maddie. He's already arranged her accident. Private plane, mechanical failure, scheduled for next week. She doesn't know, Daniel stated flatly. No, Rachel confirmed. She thinks they're running away together. The Bali flight is a diversion. The private plane is registered to one of his shell companies. Classic pattern, Samantha added. He's already processing additional insurance policies on her life through offshore subsidiaries. Once she's gone, he'll collect from multiple sources. Daniel absorbed the information with cold calculation. His wife's betrayal had sparked this operation, but the scope had expanded far beyond personal vengeance. Richard Kensington had built an empire on murdered spouses and stolen money. Dismantling it would require precisely coordinated action. Ghost, your team ready for multiple simultaneous operations? Just say when. The security specialist confirmed. My people can lock down any location you need. Rachel, how long to completely map his digital network? 24 hours, the cyber expert replied. Less if he maintains his predictable patterns. Daniel turned to Samantha. I need everything documented, every transaction traced. When we move, the evidence needs to be bulletproof. Already coordinating with financial crimes units in 3 countries, she assured him. His money trails are complex, but they all connect eventually. Dr. Ford added her own expertise. The Preservation Society is preparing documentation of fraud across all his historical property deals. The pattern is clear once you know what to look for. The command center hummed with purposeful activity as Daniel's team assembled their attack plan. Each specialist understood their role in dismantling Richard's criminal empire. He thinks he's untouchable, Ghost observed. Men like that make mistakes. Yes, Daniel agreed, his voice carrying the certainty of a warrior who'd identified his enemy's fatal flaw. His biggest mistake was assuming I was just another target. Chapter 5. The Counterstrike. Jennifer Martinez moved through Premier Properties' office with practiced casualness, her tablet recording everything. Richard and Maddie stood in the conference room, discussing flight details and property transfers. The Bali reservations are confirmed, Jennifer reported, maintaining her professional demeanor. First-class accommodations, private villa on arrival. Perfect, Maddie beamed, her designer outfit reflecting success built on betrayal. Richard, the offshore transfers? All arranged. Richard's smooth charm masked predatory calculation. The insurance policies are processing through our usual channels. Once we're clear, everything converts to untraceable assets. Jennifer nodded, adding meeting notes to her tablet while the hidden application transmitted everything to Rachel Chin's cyber team. The timestamps and recordings would provide crucial evidence. In Ghost Command Center, Rachel's fingers flew across multiple keyboards. Got it. Their entire conversation, plus background data from both their phones. Richard's discussing property transfers with contacts in 3 countries. The Bali flight's a diversion, Ghost confirmed, studying surveillance feeds. Private airstrip outside the city shows unusual activity. Maintenance crews working on a Gulf Stream registered to one of Richard's shells. Samantha O'Brien looked up from financial records. Found the pattern. He's already moved funds to cover both accident scenarios. If the private plane fails, he collects triple insurance payouts. If Maddie reaches Bali, she has an unfortunate swimming accident. Detective Ross coordinated with FBI agents, building their case. Previous victims' families are providing testimony. Richard's pattern spans 15 years: seduction, marriage, elimination, property fraud. Each operation more sophisticated than the last. The Patterson Building project expanded his scope, Rachel added, displaying complex digital maps. He's using historical renovation projects to launder money from multiple operations. Each property deal connects to offshore accounts. Daniel studied the intelligence feeds, his tactical assessment identifying key vulnerabilities. Ghost, your team in position? All locations secured. The security specialist confirmed. We've got the airstrip, hotel, and 3 backup exit routes covered. Ryan's construction crew provided perfect cover for inserting surveillance. Rachel's system pinged with new data. Intercepted communications. Maddie's been recording Richard too, storing evidence in a private cloud account. She doesn't trust him. Smart, Samantha noted, but not smart enough. The account traces back to servers Richard already controls. He's letting her build evidence he can erase later. Jennifer's voice came through secure channels. They're discussing the penthouse celebration tonight. Richard's bringing his private security team. More Black River contractors? Daniel asked. No, Ghost checked tactical displays. Different team. Elite operators, probably former Spetsnaz. These guys are serious. Daniel's expression showed no concern. Good. Professional operators understand when they're outmatched. Rachel, shut down their communications when I give the signal. Sam, freeze all connected accounts simultaneously. Already coordinated with financial authorities in 4 countries, Samantha confirmed. One command freezes everything. Detective Ross arrived with additional FBI support. Federal warrants are ready. We can take down the entire network once you spring the trap. Jennifer, Daniel activated his comm link. Maintain your cover. When they move to the penthouse, stay clear. Understood, she replied professionally. They suspect nothing. Richard's ego has him convinced everything's under control. The command center tracked multiple operations as pieces moved into position. Ghost's team secured the private airstrip, documenting maintenance crews installing subtle mechanical flaws in the Gulfstream systems. Found his kill switch, Rachel announced. Digital command to trigger catastrophic failures during flight. He's used it before. 3 of his previous spouses died in similar accidents. The historical property angle gives us federal charges, Detective Ross added. Preservation fund fraud crosses state lines. Richard's looking at multiple life sentences. Daniel studied surveillance feeds showing Maddie and Richard preparing for their celebration. His wife's betrayal had led him to uncover something far larger: systematic murder disguised as tragic accidents, money laundering through legitimate businesses, corruption spanning multiple countries. They're moving to the penthouse, Jennifer reported. Richard's security team is doing advanced sweeps. Let them sweep, Ghost replied. My people are ghosts. They won't find anything until it's too late. Rachel's fingers flew across her keyboard, ready to shut down their communications. They'll lose phones, tablets, everything except what we want them to see. Surveillance confirms additional security teams at ground level. Ryan reported from the construction crew's position. All former military, top-tier operators. Good professionals know when to step aside. Daniel's voice carried deadly certainty. They're about to learn they backed the wrong employer. The penthouse surveillance showed Richard and Maddie arriving, champagne already flowing. His security teams maintained positions throughout the building, unaware they were already surrounded. Wait for my signal, Daniel commanded. When we move, we take everything: digital networks, financial accounts, escape routes. Richard's entire operation ends tonight. Ghost's tactical teams confirmed ready status. FBI agents moved into position while Detective Ross coordinated with local authorities. Rachel's cyber team prepared to sever Richard's digital connections while Samantha stood ready to freeze his financial empire. Daniel watched his wife laugh at something Richard said, neither of them aware their carefully constructed plot was about to collapse. They tried to eliminate him, not realizing they'd attacked someone trained to dismantle much more dangerous opponents. All teams in position, Ghost confirmed. Ready on your command. Daniel Crawford had spent 15 years leading military operations against hardened targets. Now he would apply those skills to deliver justice to people who thought wealth and connections made them untouchable. Begin the operation, he commanded, and his carefully assembled team moved with synchronized precision to dismantle Richard Kensington's criminal empire. Chapter 6. The Trap. The penthouse suite security system died silently as Rachel's cyber attack took effect. Richard's elite guards found their communications reduced to static while Ghost's teams secured exit routes. What's wrong with the phones? Maddie's voice carried nervous energy as she tried repeatedly to connect. Richard. Nothing's working. Probably just interference. Richard maintained his smooth facade, but his eyes darted toward security positions. I'm sure it's temporary. The private elevator's indicator showed continuous motion despite the car being locked in place. Ghost's voice came through Daniel's earpiece. His backup team just tried to access the service elevator. My people have them contained. How many? Daniel asked quietly. 8 operators, all ex-military. They're good, but they know they're outmatched. Surrendered rather than risk engagement. In the penthouse, Richard's composure cracked slightly as his tablet failed to connect. Check the stairs, he commanded his security chief. Full building sweep now. They're not responding, sir. The chief's professional demeanor showed strain. All communications are down. Rachel's voice provided updates. His entire digital network is isolated, triggering system-wide crashes in 3, 2, 1. Across 3 continents, Richard's carefully constructed digital infrastructure began to collapse. Banking algorithms crashed, transferring funds to monitored accounts before failing completely. Communication networks severed connections with backup servers, trapping incriminating data in quarantine systems. Status? Daniel demanded. His empire's going dark, Rachel confirmed. 15 years of operations, all frozen or exposed. He's blind, deaf, and financially paralyzed. Samantha added her report. Federal authorities are seizing accounts across multiple jurisdictions. His money's not just frozen. It's being traced back through years of transactions. In the penthouse, Richard's attempts at damage control grew more frantic. Get me a secure line. Contact the backup team. Sir, his security chief's voice carried professional resignation. The building is compromised. We need to exfil now. No one leaves. Daniel's command carried through suddenly activated speakers. The building is secured. Your backup teams are in custody. Surrender now, and no one needs to get hurt. Richard's reaction shifted from disbelief to rage. Who do you think you're dealing with? Do you know what I can do to you? I know exactly what you do to people. Daniel's voice remained coldly professional. 6 murdered spouses. Millions in laundered money. The Patterson Building project was ambitious, Richard, but it led us to everything. Maddie's designer dress couldn't hide her trembling. Daniel? How? What are you? Be quiet, Richard snapped, mask of charm completely gone. This is impossible. I had you investigated. You're nothing. Just a construction manager, a weekend carpenter. You investigated what I wanted you to find, Daniel replied. Ghost. Status of his security team? They're standing down, Ghost confirmed. Professional operators know when they're beaten. FBI has them in custody. Richard's composure cracked completely. FBI? You can't. I have judges, politicians, all being investigated. Detective Ross's voice cut in. Your digital records are very thorough, Richard. Every bribe, payoff, and connection documented. Rachel Chun sends her regards. She enjoyed dismantling your network. The penthouse door opened smoothly. Daniel Crawford entered, his presence filling the space with controlled lethality. Behind him, Ghost's tactical team moved, securing the room. How? Maddie whispered, designer dress failing to hide her terror. You should have listened to Tommy, Daniel replied without emotion. Dogs know predators. Richard here has a pattern. Seduction, marriage, murder, insurance fraud. You weren't his partner, Maddie. You were his next victim. Richard's hand moved toward a hidden weapon, but Ghost's team had already swept the room. You're making a mistake, he snarled. Do you know who you're dealing with? Former Special Forces operator, Daniel's voice carried deadly certainty. 15 years of combat experience. But you didn't check that, did you? Too confident in your own intelligence network. Sir, Ghost's voice came through the comm. Dr. Ford just arrived with the Preservation Fund documentation. Richard's expression shifted as Rebecca Ford entered, carrying files. The Preservation Society has been documenting your pattern for years, she announced. Each historical property renovation concealed money laundering operations. You know nothing, Richard spat, but his eyes betrayed growing panic. We know everything. Detective Ross stepped forward, badge displayed. Black River Solutions provided some interesting testimony about your previous accidents. Professional killers keep records, Richard. Insurance against employers who might betray them. Jennifer Martinez entered next, tablet displaying financial records. Premier Properties books tell quite a story. Money laundering, fraudulent sales, offshore transfers. All documented. Maddie's composure crumbled completely. Richard, you promised we'd be safe. You said no one could trace the accounts. Shut up, Richard hissed, but Maddie's panic overwhelmed her discretion. You said Daniel would never suspect, that the insurance payout would be clean. She grabbed her designer purse, pulling out a USB drive. I kept copies of everything, recordings of all our meetings. Richard lunged toward her, but Daniel's reaction was instantaneous. His countermove displayed years of close-quarters combat training, neutralizing the threat with precise brutality. Richard hit the ground, arm twisted at an unnatural angle. The private plane was rigged, Daniel informed Maddie coldly, just like the planes his previous wives died in. You weren't his partner. You were his next target. Ghost's team maintained professional control as FBI agents moved in with handcuffs. Richard Kensington, Detective Ross began. You're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder, insurance fraud, money laundering. The list of charges continued as Richard was secured. His security teams had already surrendered, professional operators recognizing when a mission was compromised. The evidence is comprehensive, Dr. Ford stated, spreading out documentation. Each historical property renovation concealed complex financial crimes. The Patterson Building was meant to be your masterpiece, wasn't it? Rachel's voice came through the comms, all digital evidence secured. His entire network is exposed. 15 years of operations, documented in his own records. You're finished. Daniel's voice carried no emotion. Your organization, your connections, your escape routes, all gone. Ghost's team controls the private airstrip. The Bali flight's diverted. The accounts are frozen. Maddie tried one last appeal. Daniel, please. I can explain everything. His response cut like steel. Save it for your testimony. Federal prosecutors are very interested in Richard's previous operations. Your cooperation might reduce your sentence. The FBI led them away as Ghost's team secured the scene. The penthouse's luxury stood in stark contrast to the brutally efficient operation that had just dismantled a criminal empire. Sir, Ryan reported through comms. Construction crew confirms the building's perimeter is secure. No unauthorized exits. Detective Ross coordinated with federal agents, processing evidence and securing suspects. The Preservation Fund fraud gives us federal jurisdiction. Add the international money laundering, and they're looking at serious time. Daniel watched as his wife and her lover were escorted to separate vehicles. 15 years of military operations had taught him to eliminate threats completely. Richard's organization hadn't just been defeated. It had been dismantled systematically, leaving no possibility of recovery. Ghost appeared at his side. Clean operation. All objectives secured. No collateral damage. Rachel's team? Already dismantling his digital infrastructure. Samantha's tracking down connected accounts. The evidence chain is solid. The penthouse suite had been meant to host a celebration of Daniel's death. Instead, it became the location of Richard Kensington's final defeat. His empire of murder and fraud, built over 15 years, collapsed in a single night. Dr. Ford reviewed seized documents, shaking her head. The Patterson building renovation was brilliant in its complexity. Each historical property deal layered legitimate business over criminal operations. Processing the crime scene will take hours, Detective Ross noted. The evidence here connects to investigations in multiple jurisdictions. Daniel nodded, his mission complete. Richard and Maddie had thought they were dealing with a simple construction manager, an easy target for their elaborate scheme. Their fatal mistake was attacking a man trained to dismantle much more dangerous enemies. The night's operation had demonstrated why Daniel Crawford had survived 15 years of military service. He hadn't just escaped their assassination attempt, he had systematically destroyed their entire organization, delivering both justice and retribution. Ghost's tactical teams maintained security as federal agents processed the scene. The operation that began with a broken taillight had exposed an international criminal enterprise. Richard's careful plans, Maddie's betrayal, the elaborate deceptions, all had shattered against Daniel's lethal competence. Buildings clear, Ryan reported. All suspects in custody, all evidence secured. Daniel surveyed the aftermath of his counterstrike. The trap had been perfectly executed, the enemy's resources turned against themselves. Richard's empire lay in ruins, its architect facing justice he'd thought his wealth and connections would forever protect him from. The operation was complete. Richard's organization was destroyed, its members in custody, its assets frozen. Daniel Crawford had delivered a decisive response to their attempt on his life, demonstrating why some targets should never be underestimated. Chapter 7. Justice Served. The federal courthouse buzzed with tension as Richard Kensington took the stand. His expensive suit couldn't mask the defeat in his posture as prosecutors displayed evidence of his crimes across digital screens. Mr. Kensington, the lead prosecutor's voice cut through the silence. Please explain your relationship with Black River Solutions. Richard glanced at his defense team, who nodded grimly. His immunity deal required complete cooperation. They provided operational support for my business ventures. By operational support, you mean the elimination of your previous spouses?
Yes.
Richard's admission triggered murmurs through the courtroom. They handled the accidents, cleaned up evidence, maintained deniability. Daniel Crawford sat between Detective Ross and Ghost, his presence forcing Richard to avert his gaze. The man who tried to have him killed now provided testimony that would dismantle international criminal networks. Tell us about the Patterson Building project, the prosecutor continued. It was meant to be my masterpiece. Richard's voice carried bitter resignation. Historical property renovation provided perfect cover for laundering money. Local preservation societies, building codes, multiple contractors. Each layer added legitimacy to the financial movements. The evidence mounted as Richard detailed his operation. Bank records showed money flowing through shell companies, each transaction disguised as legitimate business. Property deals across 3 states revealed systematic fraud targeting historical preservation funds. In a separate courtroom, Maddie faced her own prosecution. Her designer clothes replaced by prison orange, she detailed her role in Richard's schemes. "I didn't know about the previous wives," she insisted, though her testimony proved otherwise. "The offshore accounts, the property deals. I thought we were just exploiting legal loopholes." Jennifer Martinez provided crucial testimony about Premier Properties' involvement. Mrs. Crawford authorized unusual transactions through shell companies. Each deal involved properties connected to Mr. Kensington's operation. The prosecution presented financial records, emails, and surveillance footage. Maddie's attempts to downplay her involvement crumbled against the weight of evidence. Her own recordings of meetings with Richard, intended as insurance, proved her willing participation in the conspiracy. The defendant wasn't just aware of the fraud. The prosecutor addressed the jury. She actively participated in money laundering, insurance fraud, and conspiracy to commit murder. Daniel observed both trials with cold detachment. His military training had taught him to complete missions thoroughly. No loose ends, no opportunities for enemies to rebuild their operations. Rachel Chin's testimony detailed the digital architecture of Richard's empire. His network spanned multiple countries, using historical property renovations to clean money from previous operations. Each project built legitimacy for the next phase. The Patterson building renovation attracted attention from preservation groups, Dr. Ford explained to the court. "Our investigation revealed similar patterns across multiple properties." Mr. Kensington approached historical societies with donations, gained expedited approvals, then used the projects to move illegal funds. The evidence trail extended beyond property fraud. Samantha O'Brien presented financial analysis linking Richard's operations to international crime syndicates. The money laundering operation processed funds from multiple criminal enterprises. Each historical renovation project provided another layer of legitimacy. Ghost's testimony about the private security contractors revealed the operation's darker aspects. Black River Solutions provided visible security while separate teams handled eliminations. Richard Kensington maintained multiple kill teams, each specializing in different types of accidents. The trials sparked investigations nationwide. Other victims' families came forward, providing evidence of similar schemes. Richard's testimony implicated corrupt officials, judges, and business leaders who'd facilitated his operations. The defendant's pattern was consistent. Detective Ross testified. Marriage, life insurance policies through shell companies, staged accidents, property deals to clean the money. Each operation built upon previous successes. Ryan Cooper's construction crew provided evidence of unusual activities at the Patterson building site. Security footage showed late-night meetings, document exchanges, interactions with international contacts. Mr. Kensington's organization wasn't just committing fraud, the prosecutor summarized. They built an international criminal enterprise using historical property renovation as cover. The Patterson building project would have been their largest operation yet. The jury took less than 6 hours to reach their verdict. Richard Kensington faced multiple life sentences for conspiracy, murder, fraud, and money laundering. His testimony against international crime syndicates added federal charges that ensured he would never see freedom again. Maddie's sentencing reflected her cooperation, though Daniel's influence ensured she received more than a token punishment. Her testimony helped convict Richard, but her willing participation in the conspiracy earned substantial prison time. Jennifer Martinez earned respect throughout the trials, her testimony providing crucial links in the prosecution's case. Daniel's quiet support ensured her brother's education continued uninterrupted while she established herself professionally. The Preservation Society is implementing new oversight procedures, Dr. Ford told reporters outside the courthouse. Historical renovation projects will undergo enhanced financial scrutiny. The Patterson building case exposed vulnerabilities in the system. The trial's conclusion marked more than legal victory. Daniel Crawford had systematically destroyed an organization that targeted him, dismantling it so thoroughly that no piece remained to threaten others. You did more than stop one criminal, Detective Ross noted as they left the courthouse. This case exposed similar operations across the country. Other victims' families are finally getting justice. Daniel nodded silently. His response to the attempt on his life hadn't just eliminated immediate threats, it had torn down an entire criminal empire, ensuring it could never rebuild. Chapter 8. Rebuilding. The construction site developed a new energy as Daniel expanded his veteran employment program. Ryan Cooper, now head of site security, supervised as former military personnel learned construction trades. These guys need structure, Ryan explained to a local reporter. Construction work provides purpose, teaches new skills. We're not just building buildings. We're rebuilding lives. Daniel moved through the site, evaluating progress and mentoring workers. His experience transitioning from military to civilian life helped him understand their challenges. Each project became an opportunity for veterans to prove themselves. The key is meaningful work, he told the city council during a project review. These men and women served their country. Now they're serving their community through ethical development projects. Detective Ross's new financial crimes unit operated from renovated offices in the Patterson building. Her team specialized in complex fraud cases, drawing on lessons learned from dismantling Richard's operation. Daniel's consultations proved invaluable, she explained during a department briefing. His military experience helps us identify patterns in criminal organizations. We're not just solving crimes, we're preventing them. The exposure of Richard's schemes led to nationwide reforms in property development. Rachel Chin's cybersecurity team developed algorithms to detect suspicious patterns in real estate transactions. The software recognizes indicators we found in the Kensington case, Rachel demonstrated to insurance investigators. Unusual property valuations, complex ownership structures, patterns that might indicate money laundering. Samantha O'Brien's Financial Intelligence Division expanded beyond fraud detection. Her team provided protection for whistleblowers, helping other Jennifer Martinez's come forward safely. We learned from Daniel's approach, Samantha explained to corporate clients. Protecting sources, documenting evidence, building comprehensive cases. Each successful prosecution encourages more people to expose corruption. Tommy became a regular presence at construction sites, his intuition helping identify veterans struggling with PTSD. The German Shepherd's presence had a calming effect on workers dealing with transition stress. Animals recognize pain, Daniel noted during a therapy dog training session. Tommy survived abuse, learned to trust again. His example helps others believe in recovery. The Veteran Support Program partnered with local colleges, providing certification courses in construction trades. Ryan's security company staffed graduates in legitimate positions, building a network of trusted professionals. We're creating opportunities, Ryan told potential employers. These veterans have discipline, attention to detail, commitment to excellence. They just need chances to prove themselves. Ghost's security firm expanded its scope, specializing in protecting reformation projects from criminal interference. His teams combined with legal compliance, ensuring development projects remained legitimate. Daniel showed us how to fight corruption effectively, Ghost explained to his operators. Thorough intelligence, precise action, complete documentation. No loose ends, no legal vulnerabilities. The Patterson building's completion marked a turning point in community development. Dr. Ford's preservation group worked closely with veteran construction teams, combining historical accuracy with modern efficiency. This project proves ethical development works, Dr. Ford told preservation societies. We're protecting historical properties while providing opportunities for community growth. Jennifer Martinez established her own real estate firm, implementing strict ethical guidelines. Her experience with Premier Properties taught her the importance of transparency in property development. We verify ownership structures, she explained to potential clients. No shell companies, no hidden investors. This industry needs reform, and it starts with honest business practices. Detective Ross's unit uncovered similar operations across multiple jurisdictions. Each investigation built upon lessons learned from the Kensington case, dismantling criminal networks. Daniel's military experience changed our approach, Ross told federal investigators. We don't just gather evidence. We identify structural weaknesses, dismantle organizations completely. The Veteran Employment Program expanded beyond construction. Former military personnel found positions in security, project management, and skilled trades. Each success story strengthened the network. These men and women didn't just serve, Daniel explained during a program evaluation. They learned discipline, leadership, attention to detail. Those skills transferred directly to civilian projects. Regular security audits ensured development projects remained clean. Rachel's cyber team monitored digital transactions, while Samantha's analysts tracked financial movements. Ghost's operators provided physical security, creating layers of protection against criminal infiltration. We're not just preventing fraud, Ghost told his teams. We're changing industry standards. Legitimate development can't risk association with criminal enterprises. The reforms sparked by Richard's case spread through real estate development nationwide. Other cities implemented similar oversight procedures, making it harder for criminal organizations to exploit property markets. The Kensington case exposed systemic vulnerabilities, Detective Ross noted during a law enforcement conference. Now we have models for detecting and preventing similar operations. Daniel's approach to reconstruction went beyond physical buildings. Each project incorporated community benefits, veteran employment, and ethical business practices. His military experience shaped development strategies that left no room for corruption. Chapter 9. New Beginnings. The mixed-use development combining veteran housing with community spaces represented Daniel's vision for ethical urban growth. Claire Sullivan, the military prosecutor who helped build the case against Richard, shared his commitment to community service. These projects do more than provide housing, Claire explained during the groundbreaking ceremony. They create support networks, employment opportunities, chances for veterans to rebuild their lives. Daniel and Claire's relationship developed through shared values and understanding of trauma's impact. Her legal expertise complemented his practical approach to veteran support, creating comprehensive rehabilitation programs. Military service changes people, Claire noted during a program review. Recovery requires more than housing or jobs. It needs community, purpose, opportunities to serve others. Tommy's acceptance of Claire confirmed Daniel's instincts. The German shepherd, once wary of strangers, recognized another protector. His behavior around Claire showed none of the distrust he displayed toward Maddie or Richard. The Veteran Support Center thrived under professional management. Ryan Cooper handled security operations, while Jennifer Martinez managed property aspects. Their combined experience ensured the center maintained high standards. We're creating a model for ethical development, Jennifer told industry publications. Veteran housing, community spaces, legitimate business operations. Each component supports the others. Detective Ross's financial crimes unit operated from dedicated offices in the complex. Their presence provided security while demonstrating community integration of law enforcement. This center proves comprehensive recovery works, Ross explained to visiting officials. Housing, employment, support services, security, all working together to prevent exploitation. Richard's multiple life sentences ensured justice for his victims. His criminal empire, dismantled by Daniel's systematic approach, provided case studies for preventing similar operations. The defendant's testimony revealed vulnerabilities in property development, the lead prosecutor told law enforcement agencies. Now we have protocols for detecting and preventing these schemes. Maddie served her time in medium security, her business skills redirected toward legitimate purposes. The prison's rescue dog program, supported by Daniel, provided opportunities for inmates to contribute positively. Animals don't judge past mistakes, the program coordinator noted. They respond to kindness, consistency, responsible care. These lessons transfer to other aspects of rehabilitation. Claire's legal background strengthened the center's operations. Her experience with military law helped create programs addressing specific veteran needs. Military training develops valuable skills, she explained during staff orientation. Our job is helping veterans apply those skills in civilian contexts. Their discipline, commitment, and attention to detail benefit legitimate projects. The development model spread as other cities recognized its effectiveness. Veteran housing combined with community spaces created sustainable urban growth while preventing criminal exploitation. Daniel Crawford showed us how to fight corruption permanently. Ghost told security consultants, "Don't just stop criminal operations. Replace them with legitimate alternatives that serve community needs." The center's success validated Daniel's approach to justice. He'd faced betrayal not with simple vengeance, but with systematic reconstruction that prevented similar threats from emerging. Tommy kept watch from his favorite spot, alert but relaxed in an environment built on trust and service. The German Shepherd's behavior reflected the center's atmosphere, protective but welcoming to those who proved trustworthy. Claire's legal documents shared space with Daniel's project plans, their professional skills combining to create effective programs. Together they built something authentic, a life focused on preventing others from suffering betrayal's impact. The garage where assassins once attacked became a planning center for legitimate projects. Daniels found expression in positive development, creating opportunities for others to rebuild their lives. Life had transformed, but Daniel's core strength remained unchanged. He'd faced betrayal with more than personal revenge. He'd created systems preventing similar exploitation of others. The scars remained, physical reminders of battles fought and won. But they told stories of reconstruction rather than destruction, of building safeguards against betrayal's repeat. Together, Daniel and Claire demonstrated how response to betrayal could create positive change. Their work proved that sometimes the worst attacks lead to the strongest defenses against future threats. Epilogue. 10 years later, the Patterson Building stood as a monument to transformation, its renovated facade hiding modern security systems that made it one of Portland's most secure structures. Daniel Crawford's office occupied the top floor, where he now directed Crawford Development Group, the largest ethical construction and renovation company in the Pacific Northwest. The Singapore contract is confirmed, Claire Sullivan Crawford reported, reviewing documents on her tablet. After their marriage 8 years ago, she'd combined her legal expertise with Daniel's development vision, creating an international consultancy for ethical urban development. Ryan's team vetted the investors. Daniel's question carried the same tactical that had once dismantled Richard Kensington's criminal empire. Triple-checked. Claire nodded toward the security feeds displaying multiple construction sites. Ghost's people are already on the ground there, setting up security protocols. The decades since Richard's conviction had seen dramatic changes in property development. The exposure of his operations sparked international reforms, with Crawford Development Group leading the transformation. Ryan Cooper, now Chief of Security Operations, entered with his daily briefing. The former Marine had built a global security network, combining veteran employment with state-of-the-art protection systems. Latest graduate numbers from the training program, Ryan reported, displaying statistics. 87% employment rate for veterans completing certification. Jennifer's real estate division hired 12 graduates last month alone. Daniel studied the data with satisfaction. The veteran rehabilitation program had expanded beyond construction, creating opportunities across multiple industries. Compatibility with the Singapore project? Already identified 20 qualified veterans for the initial team. Ghost's people will handle their transition. Michael Ghost, O'Brien's security firm, had evolved into an international operation, specializing in protecting development projects from criminal infiltration. His partnership with Crawford Development Group set industry standards for ethical project security. Dr. Ford's preservation team signed off on the historical elements, Ryan continued. They're implementing the enhanced verification protocols Rachel developed. Rachel Chin's cybersecurity innovations had revolutionized project protection. Her systems, built upon lessons learned from exposing Richard's network, now safeguarded development projects worldwide. Speaking of Rachel, Claire interjected. Her new detection algorithms caught 3 attempts at property fraud last quarter. Each case followed patterns similar to Richard's old operation. Daniel's expression hardened briefly at the mention of his former enemy. Richard Kensington remained in federal prison, his testimony continuing to expose international criminal networks. His operations dismantling had become a case study in anti-corruption strategies. Samantha's financial intelligence team tracked the attempts, Claire continued. All 3 linked back to former associates trying to rebuild similar schemes. Samantha O'Brien's division had expanded beyond fraud detection, providing comprehensive financial security for international development projects. Her protocols, implemented globally, made it nearly impossible for criminal organizations to exploit property markets. Jennifer Martinez's success proved particularly satisfying. Her ethical real estate firm, Premier Trust Properties, had replaced the corrupted Premier Properties, becoming an industry leader in transparent development practices. Jennifer's Tokyo office opens next month, Ryan noted. Her brother's handling the legal compliance. He made partner at his firm last year. The mention of Jennifer sparked memories of those crucial days when she'd first exposed Richard's conspiracy. Her courage in coming forward had not only saved Daniel's life, but launched a revolution in real estate ethics. Tommy, now gray-muzzled but still alert, raised his head from his bed near Daniel's desk. Though older, the German Shepherd maintained his role as character judge. His acceptance of Claire had proved prophetic. Their partnership strengthened both personally and professionally. Detective Ross called, Claire added. Her financial crimes unit's expansion got approved. They're implementing our security protocols in 3 more cities. Alexandra Ross had transformed her local investigation unit into a national model for complex financial crime prevention. Her collaboration with Crawford Development Group created new standards for public-private security partnerships. The Patterson Building anniversary ceremony is next week, Ryan reminded them. Dr. Ford wants to highlight how the renovation model changed preservation practices. Rebecca Ford's Preservation Society had evolved into a powerful force for ethical urban development. Her partnership with Crawford Development Group proved historical preservation could coexist with modern security requirements. Maddie's parole hearing was denied. Claire mentioned carefully, watching her husband's reaction. The board cited continued association with known fraudsters inside the prison. Daniel showed no response to news about his ex-wife. Madeline Crawford's attempts to rebuild influence from prison demonstrated why his approach to justice emphasized systematic prevention rather than just punishment. The prison's dog training program continues to succeed, Claire added more positively. Tommy's last litter produced 16 service dogs, all placed with veteran support programs. The German Shepherd's legacy extended beyond security. His puppies, carefully bred and trained, supported veteran rehabilitation programs nationwide. Each dog carried Tommy's intuitive ability to judge character and support recovery. A video call notification flashed, Ghost Singapore team reporting in. The operations center displayed multiple camera feeds as Ghost security specialists reviewed site preparations. Perimeter systems active, Ghost reported. Rachel's cyber team completed network isolation. Local veteran liaison confirmed personnel arrangements. Daniel studied the security feeds. A decade of experience had refined their development model into an unbreakable system. Each project incorporated lessons learned from dismantling Richard's operation. Samantha's team verified all financial channels, Ghost continued. Local partners passed enhanced screening. No connections to known criminal networks. The thoroughness reflected years of systematic improvement. Crawford Development Group's projects weren't just construction sites. They were models of ethical urban development protected by military-grade security. Claire, your thoughts on the legal framework? Daniel turned to his wife, whose legal expertise had strengthened their operation immensely. Local compliance confirmed, she replied, displaying regulatory documentation. Anti-corruption protocols exceed international standards. Veteran employment programs meet all certification requirements. Their marriage represented more than personal happiness. Claire's understanding of military trauma and commitment to justice complemented Daniel's tactical approach perfectly. Together, they built systems preventing others from suffering betrayal's impact. Tommy's puppies had proven especially effective in veteran rehabilitation. The dogs combined their sire's protective instincts with carefully trained support capabilities, creating partnerships that aided recovery. Ryan, status on the veteran training facilities? Daniel's question reflected their operations core mission. Construction ahead of schedule, Ryan reported. Local veterans already enrolled in certification programs. Employment partnerships confirmed with 12 companies. The Singapore project exemplified their refined approach. Each development incorporated veteran support, community benefits, and multiple security layers. Criminal exploitation became impossible under such comprehensive protection. A decade of experience had proven Daniel's method successful. Rather than seeking simple revenge against Richard and Maddie, he'd created systems preventing similar betrayals. Each project strengthened these protections while providing opportunities for others to rebuild their lives. Jennifer's arrival completed the morning briefing. Her success in ethical real estate demonstrated how integrity could triumph over corruption. Premier Trust Properties' expansion showed honest development could flourish under proper protection. Tokyo office security protocols are active, she reported. Rachel's team completed network integration. Ghost's people finished physical security installation. The collaboration between their various divisions demonstrated the operation strength. Rachel's cybersecurity, Ghost's physical protection, and Samantha's financial intelligence created overlapping layers of defense. Dr. Ford's team approved the historical elements, Jennifer continued. Local preservation societies are implementing our verification standards. The preservation angle had proven crucial to their success. Rebecca Ford's expertise helped maintain historical integrity while implementing modern security. Each renovation project balanced preservation with protection. Daniel's office displayed photos marking key moments: the Patterson Building renovation, the first veteran graduation ceremony, his wedding to Claire. Each image represented another step in transforming personal betrayal into systematic prevention. The United Nations Development Committee confirmed next month's presentation, Claire noted. They're interested in implementing our veteran program model globally. International recognition validated their approach. Crawford Development Group's methods weren't just preventing corruption. They were creating worldwide standards for ethical urban development. Tommy's behavior demonstrated the operation's success. The German Shepherd remained alert but relaxed, sensing no threats in an environment built on trust and verification. His puppies carried this combination of protection and support to programs nationwide. The Singapore project represented their latest evolution. Each new development incorporated refined security measures, improved veteran support, and stronger community benefits. Criminal exploitation became progressively harder under such comprehensive systems. Final item, Ryan concluded. The Veteran Support Center expansion passed final inspection. New facilities open next month. The center had grown far beyond its original scope. Now it provided comprehensive services, housing, employment training, support programs, and community integration. Each component strengthened overall security through legitimate opportunity. Daniel surveyed the operations center with satisfaction. A decade ago, he'd faced betrayal with more than personal vengeance. He'd created systems preventing similar exploitation. Now those systems protected developments worldwide while supporting veteran rehabilitation. Claire's legal expertise had proven crucial to this expansion. Her understanding of military law helped create programs addressing specific veteran needs while maintaining regulatory compliance. Their partnership demonstrated how different skills could combine to prevent corruption. The afternoon brought a video tour of completed projects. Each development showcased their model's success: secure, profitable, community-oriented growth that left no room for criminal exploitation. Singapore will be our largest implementation yet, Claire noted, studying the plans. Full veteran support integration, comprehensive security, complete community benefits. Daniel nodded, recognizing how far they'd come. The attempt on his life had sparked more than retaliation. It launched an international transformation in development practices. Each project further secured this new approach. Tommy's latest litter would soon begin service dog training. The program demonstrated their commitment to comprehensive support. Even security animals contributed to rehabilitation. The German Shepherd's protective instincts found positive expression through his offspring. The Patterson Building's transformation from criminal front to ethical development headquarters symbolized their success. Richard's attempt to create a money laundering masterpiece had instead produced a model for preventing such schemes. A decade later, Daniel Crawford had achieved more than justice against individual betrayers. He'd created systems making similar betrayals progressively harder while providing opportunities for positive growth. His found expression not in vengeance, but in systematic protection of legitimate development. The future looked secure as Crawford Development Group expanded globally. Each new project incorporated refined protections, improved support programs, and stronger community benefits. The attempt to destroy Daniel Crawford had instead launched an international revolution in ethical urban development. Tommy dozed contentedly, sensing no threats in an environment built on trust and verification. The German Shepherd's legacy lived on through service dogs nationwide, turning protective instincts toward rehabilitation support. Like the operation itself, Tommy's influence had transformed from personal protection to systematic assistance. Claire's legal briefs shared space with Daniel's project plans, their professional skills combining to create effective safeguards. Together, they built something authentic, a life focused on preventing others from facing betrayal's impact while supporting positive recovery. The garage where assassins once attacked had become a planning center for legitimate projects. Daniels found expression in positive development, creating opportunities for others to rebuild their lives securely. Life had transformed dramatically, but Daniel's core strength remained unchanged. He'd faced betrayal with more than personal revenge. He'd created systems preventing similar exploitation while supporting rehabilitation. The scars remained, but they told stories of reconstruction rather than destruction. Together, Daniel and Claire demonstrated how response to betrayal could create positive change. Their work proved that sometimes the worst attacks lead to the strongest defenses, not just against future threats, but for building legitimate opportunities. The future looked secure as their model expanded globally, each project further strengthening protections while supporting ethical development. This is where our story comes to an end. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Thanks for your time. If you enjoy this story, please subscribe to this channel. Click on the video you see on the screen, and I will see you there.